an XLR input and instrument input, 48V phantom power, good build quality, good sound quality, and a fairly reasonable price tag. There are literally dozens of audio interfaces on the market right now that fit that description. So why is everyone buying this one? With a 4.5-star rating from over 24,000 reviews, the Focusrite Scarlett Solo is the best-selling audio interface on Amazon. I had to find out why. Coming in at just a baw hair under £100, the Scarlett Solo hits a real price-to-performance sweet spot, for beginners especially, I think. Yes, you can get cheaper options that don't have quite as good build or sound quality, and of course, you can get far more expensive interfaces, whose price points may well be quite off-putting for those beginners. There must be something more to this than price point though, right? I mean, a product doesn't get that many positive reviews based on its price point alone. Let's start at the beginning. In the Focusrite Scarlett Solo's packaging is, unsurprisingly, the interface itself, wrapped in a non-recyclable plastic bag. Tut tut, Focusrite.
Be a Planeteer! Recycle!
We do!
The power is yours!
There's a USB-C to USB-A cable and some documentation, and that's it. The interface has this lovely brushed metal body, which does give it a little bit of extra weight, but also means the unit feels really sturdy. Once the plastic is peeled off of the front and back panels, you're left with a very nice looking glossy finish, which incidentally soaked the fingerprints right off the ends of my fingers as soon as I lightly brushed them against it. On the front of the interface is an XLR microphone input with 48V phantom power and an air button next to it. More on that air function in a little while. There's a gain knob here that features the signature Focusrite halos. These are really handy for setting your levels correctly. If you're recording at the right volume, the halo will light up green. If you're a little too hot, they'll show as orange, and if you're clipping, they will light up red. Next, there's a high headroom instrument input that you can plug your guitar, bass, or synth into. An instrument button, which you'll want to switch on if you're hooking up a guitar, and switch off if you're connecting a line level source like a keyboard. You have a gain knob with a halo here as well. There's a chunky monitor dial here that feels brilliant. It has a lovely tactile resistance to it that feels really premium and nice. It's worth noting that this controls the output to both the headphone and balanced TRS outputs on the back of the interface. You don't have separate controls for both of these outputs. There's a wee USB light up here that you can't see. I'll splice some footage in of that in action now. This lets you know when the interface is connected to your device. There's a direct monitoring button here which allows you to either monitor your signal from your DAW or from the interface itself with zero latency. And there's a 1/4-inch headphone jack here as well. On the back of the Solo, you'll find a good old Kensington security lock in case you want to attach it to something, a USB-C 2.0 port, and 2 1/4-inch TRS inputs that you can connect your studio monitors to, for example. As I touched on before, the Focusrite Scarlett Solo's build quality is fantastic. All the knobs, buttons and inputs are solid as a rock, with not even a snifter of a wiggle on any of the dials, buttons or inputs. This is the 3rd generation of Scarlett Solo, and Focusrite have really shrunk down the models this time around. In fact, hold on a sec. For reference, here's my 1st generation Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 and 2nd generation Focusrite Scarlett 2i4. That's how the Focusrite Solo compares to the 1st gen Scarlett 2i2. And that's what it looks like compared to the Scarlett 2i4. It's tiny. The Solo's teeny tiny form factor is good news if you're a mobile musician and plan to use this on the move with your iOS device. Speaking of iOS, the Scarlett Solo is officially compatible with USB-C iPads, but there's no mention of whether it works with Lightning-based iPads or not. Well, it just so happens that I've got a Lightning-based iPad here, and I can confirm that the Focusrite Solo does work with Lightning-based iPads. Bear in mind though that like most audio interfaces, the Focusrite Solo does require some extra power to work properly with Lightning-based iPads. Less useful to iOS users is the included software. If you're running a Mac, however, then good news, you can look forward to free plugins from the likes of Antares, XLN, Brainworks, and others, as well as a 3-month subscription to Splice, light versions of Ableton Live and Pro Tools, and a range of free Focusrite plugins as well. Have a guess as to how much of that stuff is compatible with iOS. None. Typical. And what about that Air button I mentioned earlier? Focusrite claim that activating Air on the XLR input will give your recordings a brighter and more open sound. Let's find out. One of these recordings will be an acoustic guitar recorded with my Rode NT1 condenser microphone into the Solo's XLR input with the Air function activated. One will be with the Air function off. See if you can tell which is which. If you said demo B had Air activated, you are correct. Well done. Alright, enough of that nonsense. Here's some more demos. Scarlett Solo, Scarlett Solo, Scarlett Solo. Scarlett Solo, Scarlett Solo, Scarlett Solo. I think I get it. Focusrite have been at this for years now, and the 3rd gen Scarlett Solo seems like the culmination of all of that expertise and know-how crammed into a wee red box. In terms of value, yeah, it's a bit more expensive than others in its class, but you're getting quiet, clean preamps, useful features like the gain halos and air modes, a potentially useful bumper software bundle, all wrapped up in a mega sturdy, premium looking package. I guess 24,000 people can't be wrong. Alright, I've put this playlist together for you to watch next, where I showcase some of my favourite Garageband gear.